A good life begins when you stop wishing for a better one. Nkosiphambili E. Molapis. How many of us are squandering the present moment, merely chasing an elusive future? They remain immersed in the illusion that happiness belongs to another land, found in a different job, a grander home, a more bountiful income, or a distant, flawless version of themselves. Yet ironically, the moment they reach those milestones, they hastily turn away toward yet another destination. Life thus transforms into an endless race without a finish line, where people remain trapped in a sense of scarcity, even while surrounded by boundless abundance. The human mindset is much like a magnifying glass. If it fixates solely on unfulfilled voids, all the wonders currently present will slowly fade into nothingness. You can stand amid a lush primeval forest, yet your eyes remain fixated on a single falling withered leaf. You can gaze up at a night sky shimmering with thousands of stars, yet your mind stays trapped in a narrow streak of haze. This life has never lacked marvels to cherish. It is simply that we are too consumed by comparison, forfeiting the inner serenity needed to feel them fully. The wonder is that a good life does not wait for everything to become perfect before it begins. It ignites the very instant your perspective shifts. Just as the sun radiates brilliantly behind layers of clouds, joy continually shines beneath negative thoughts. When you abandon waiting for an ideal day to take flight, you suddenly realize that today itself is overflowing with exquisite worth. A simple family meal, a warm and sincere inquiry, or merely waking up to find yourself whole and healthy, all are priceless blessings that countless souls out there desperately long for. What was once a dream eventually becomes ordinary with the passage of time. Therefore, if happiness depends solely on what you might acquire in the future, you will forever live in anxiety and lack. Only by learning to treasure every present moment can you shatter the endless cycle of dissatisfaction. Gratitude never dampens ambition. On the contrary, it creates a solid foundation from which you can reach farther without losing your inner peace. Continue planting seeds of grand goals, but never trade reality to chase the flickering shadows of tomorrow. An ancient tree reaches high, not by dreaming of the vast sky, but by anchoring resilient roots deep into the Mother Earth beneath its feet. So it is with humanity. Remarkable success is not woven merely from soaring dreams, but first forged from a profound appreciation for every step we take. A good life is not a journey devoid of trials, but one where with each passing day you find a reason compelling enough to smile, give thanks, and steadfastly move forward. The moment you stop waiting for a better life before you begin living is the precise instant your life truly blossoms. The whole of life in the end lies in accepting ourselves as we are. Jean Anouilh. Countless souls spend their entire lives straining to become a version they believe the world will applaud. They don a mask of perfection, hastily concealing flaws and frantically chasing societal molds, forgetting that a person's original worth has never been measured by how much they resemble someone else. The most exhausting war on earth is not the battle against the external world, but the quiet civil war waged against oneself. A seed will forever remain steeped in tragedy if it bitterly laments why it cannot bloom into a fragrant rose. It fails to realize that its noble destiny is to rise into a majestic oak, offering shade to a vast expanse of sky. So it is with us. When endlessly placing ourselves on the scales of comparison, we unwittingly reject the unique gifts life has graciously bestowed upon us. Every individual possesses their own heartbeat, their own story, and a journey that can never be replicated. Comparison merely stifles joy, whereas acceptance is the spark that awakens the dormant power within. Most human torment stems not from what people hold in their hands, but from the lens through which they view themselves. A fleeting insult may last a few seconds, but if you etch the belief that you are incompetent into your core, it becomes an enduring echo tormenting your mind for years. Conversely, when you learn to treat yourself with empathy and profound compassion, failures cease to be sentences. They become invaluable lessons along the path of growth. Self-acceptance is not the abandonment of growth. It is the starting point for transformation, driven by love rather than rejection. Life resembles an ocean current. Water flows freely only when it stops resisting the natural tide. The more you force yourself into another's mold, the more you squander your precious mental energy. But when you courageously face both your strengths and anxieties with a welcoming smile, you unlock an immensely enduring inner strength. That is the aura of authenticity, a quiet force needing no ostentation or display, yet continuously radiating profound confidence. You need not be flawless to be worthy of love. You do not need to resemble anyone else for your life to hold complete meaning. A diamond's magnificent brilliance comes not from mimicking thousands of other stones, but from unique facets reflecting light in an irreplaceable manner. And so it is with humanity. When you accept yourself as you are, you cease living merely to appease the world and begin crafting a life that is authentic, liberated, and complete. At that very moment, life ceases to be a pursuit of worth, morphing into a journey of discovery and shining as your true self. Look no further for a hero. Look into your own reflection. Allyson Partridge, the one possessing the greatest power to transform your life, has never been anyone other than yourself. We tend to marvel at extraordinary figures, engrossed in their achievements, enthralled by inspiring tales, hoping in vain that a savior will one day emerge to rescue us from adversity. Yet, life rarely delivers a savior on a silver platter. Instead, it quietly places a mirror before you, patiently watching to see if you possess the courage to gaze directly at yourself. A hero is not an omnipotent being who has never known fear. A hero is the one who resolutely presses forward despite trembling knees. They possess no flawless life script, nor were they born with extraordinary powers. What sets them apart is this: they do not surrender the power over their destiny to the whims of circumstance. Every time they stumble, they choose to rise. Every time they fail, they choose to learn. It is those quiet, yet fierce choices, repeated day after day, that forge the very individuals the world reverently calls extraordinary. Picture a towering lighthouse amidst a stormy night sea. It cannot halt the tempest, nor can it calm the raging waters. Yet as long as the beacon atop its tower burns fiercely, ships will always find their way. Humans are no different. The most radiant light springs not from praise, validation, or borrowed help from others. It is ignited by an unshakable belief that no matter how dire the hardship, you always retain the power to choose how you confront life. When that light blazes forth, fear, though not entirely gone, loses its grip to manipulate you. Those with deep inner resolve do not passively await motivation to knock on their door before acting. They choose to plunge in first, and action itself generates motivation. Every small task completed is a resounding affirmation to the mind: I can do this. Every promise kept to oneself becomes a sturdy brick building the fortress of self-confidence. That is why true strength is not forged in moments of splendor, but shaped by ordinary yet persistent decisions made when no one is watching or applauding. Do not waste your life waiting endlessly for a miracle. The greatest miracle is the capacity for change dormant within you. The hero you admire today was once an ordinary person wavering with doubt, crushed by disappointment, and wanting to give up. What sets them apart is that they refused to turn their backs on themselves. Each morning, as you stand before the mirror, please do not merely see a familiar face. Look deeper to behold a soul harboring courage, willpower, and untapped potential. The world outside may not always believe in you, but as long as you hold fast to your faith in yourself and dare to take one more step, you have begun authoring the epic saga of the hero named yourself. And sometimes, the one you have awaited all these years has been standing there quietly all along in your very reflection. Truth becomes a lie when uttered by your enemy. George Orwell. We often judge a message not merely by the core of its truth, but measure it through the speaker who delivers it. When we harbor affection for someone, we readily trust even baseless claims. Conversely, when our minds harbor prejudice against a person, even the right things they say may be dismissed as deceit. This reveals that sometimes the greatest barrier keeping us from the truth is not ignorance, but dark prejudices quietly manipulating our thoughts. Imagine a pristine mirror. Though it accurately reflects every image, a person wearing dust-covered glasses will still see everything blurred. The issue lies not with the mirror, but in the layer of dust over the observer's eyes. The human mind operates in much the same way. When anger, pride, or bias clouds perception, truth easily distorts into what we desperately wish to believe, rather than what truly exists. We tend to fiercely seek out information that reinforces existing beliefs while subconsciously ignoring anything that contradicts our view. As a result, two people witnessing the exact same event can arrive at entirely opposing conclusions, not because the truth has changed, but because each beholds it through a different emotional lens. When governed entirely by emotion, we no longer listen to understand, but listen merely to refute. Yet, the measure of a mature soul lies not in always being right, but in the capacity to separate the messenger from the message. Valid feedback retains its full reflective worth, even when delivered by someone who once opposed you. Sometimes, those who disagree with us spot blind spots that dear friends overlook out of affection. If we accept only words that soothe us, we forfeit valuable opportunities for self-refinement. This does not mean blindly trusting every criticism or suspecting everyone who loves us. Wisdom lies in evaluating information with sharp reason rather than fleeting emotion. Let evidence speak, let calm observation guide, and let serenity serve as your counselor. When you learn to listen unswayed by prejudice, you will see the world with greater clarity and make far wiser decisions. Life will always feature those who cherish you, as well as those who disagree with you. You cannot control how others perceive you, but you possess absolute control over how you approach the truth. Do not let affection dictate what is right, nor let animosity turn a sincere statement into something suspicious. For truth does not shift with the speaker. Only our reception of it determines whether the light of reality remains pristine or obscured by the shadows of bias. You grow up the day you have your first real laugh at yourself. Ethel Barrymore. Most of us harbor a deep-seated fear of making mistakes. We panic over a misplaced word, feel humiliated by failure, and lie awake at night, dwelling on blunders long past. We are harsher on ourselves than anyone else, as though a single minor scratch could diminish our entire worth. But maturity does not arrive when you become invincible and flawless. It comes when you can look back on your missteps with a gentle smile, no longer bound by their weight. Observe a toddler learning to walk. It falls, cries for a few seconds, then waddles back up to keep stepping forward with eyes full of curiosity. It does not view each fall as an indictment of incompetence. Only as adults do humans begin tying their self-worth to every small setback. We fear judgment, dread ridicule, and inadvertently construct an invisible cage, locking ourselves in fake perfection. Ironically, the harder we try to appear infallible, the more under pressure we live, forfeiting our raw freedom. Forgiving laughter directed at oneself is like a gentle rain after days of scorching heat. It does not undo what has transpired, but it tempers the burning sting of regret. When you can laugh at a slip of the tongue, a naive choice, or the immature thoughts of your past, it proves you have evolved far beyond the person you once were. The stagnant person will rigidly defend every choice they ever made. A mature soul is willing to admit, "Back then, I simply did not know better." That is no sign of weakness, but a radiant manifestation of wisdom and humility. Those who practice self-compassion tend to bounce back from failure much faster. They do not waste precious time on self-reproach, choosing instead to learn and steadfastly forge ahead. A genuine smile at yourself can break the cycle of insecurity, freeing the mind from the heavy shackles of perfectionism. When you stop viewing mistakes as enemies, you gain the courage to explore, innovate, and mature through every experience. Life is like an extensive book. If you weep endlessly over an imperfect page, you will never turn to the magnificent chapters awaiting ahead. What makes you blush in embarrassment today may become a tale that brings a smile years down the line. Not because those events lacked significance, but because your inner fortitude has grown far stronger. Be not overly harsh with yourself. Learn to view your shortcomings through forgiving eyes and a tender smile. For when you can laugh at yourself while holding your dignity intact, you are no longer ruled by the past, nor do you live in fear of external judgment. That is the moment of true maturity, not when you achieve perfection, but when you are serene enough to accept that you are an ever-learning, ever-evolving soul, capable of becoming a better version of yourself with each passing day.